You are listening to the Conservative Circus. I am your ringmaster, James T. Harris. Well, it seems like we finally got our way. It seems like, we're going to have full transparency with looking at the election in Arizona. There was a desire to check out the ballots and the election machines, the voting machines right here in Maricopa County. But the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors kind of like, stiffened up. And we had to have the legislature basically threaten with subpoenas to get this done. Well, there's a meeting coming together, but people are thinking that things are not on the up and up even before we even are able to take a look. Terri Jo Neff is an investigative reporter for the Arizona Daily Independent, and she is in the center ring of the conservative circus. And Terri Jo, Maricopa County voted Wednesday to do an audit of their Dominion voting machines, but your article suggests that the audit is just smoke and mirrors. What are we missing?
So there's a number of things that came up as having problems during Maricopa County's entire election process. Not just the tabulation machines that Maricopa County says they're going to look at for fraud or bad programming. We know that probably tens of thousands of early ballots got mailed out to bad addresses and were just kind of floating around out there. We know that there were a lot of voters who said they never requested the early ballots that were purportedly mailed out to them. There were a lot of questions about Maricopa County's process for verifying the nearly 1.9 million early ballots, the signature on the affidavit of the early ballots. There were questions about that. But the big thing with the software is I know we talked to James about if there were problem ballots that had to be duplicated, where a new ballot had to be filled out because the first one there was some problem with it. There was a non-Dominion software that was used for that. And there was testimony in one of the court cases that the software didn't work very well. Mm-hmm. And in fact, in a small sampling, there were several times where the machine guessed at filling in the wrong candidate's bubble or oval, and a lot of those went against President Trump. None of that is going to be addressed by what Maricopa County is going to do when they simply look at their tabulation machines.
You said that the machine guessed. The machine guessed at the right answer, which is, I think, a way of saying it was programmed to decide in certain situations and certain, scenarios.
Absolutely. And at one point, Scott Jarrett, the Maricopa County election director, testified that the folks working on the duplication process were so frustrated they just shut off the software, and they had to sit there and do all of those duplicated ballots by hand, which obviously took a while, but at least they were trying to be more accurate.
Right.
That's not part of Maricopa County's audit process.
We have Terri Jo Neff in the center ring of the conservative circus. She's with the Arizona Daily Independent. Has an article out about what's about to take place with the Dominion machines, the audit that is supposed to take place. Senators Karen Fann and Warren Peterson have issued subpoenas to get all 2.1 million of Maricopa County's general election ballots, their voter registration record, and every computer and voting machine in the county. Yet, Terri Jo, weeks later, nothing has been turned over yet. What's up with that?
So what's really interesting here is we do have a lawsuit that is just kind of sitting out there in Maricopa County Superior Court. Judge Thomason has pretty much said that he doesn't believe that the courts should be involved in this, that if the Senate really wants the stuff from Maricopa County, they need to pursue holding Maricopa County in contempt for not complying. I've never heard of any subpoena just being totally ignored. Normally, if there's something on a subpoena that you don't want to give up, you negotiate that, and maybe you go to a judge to resolve that one little issue. Maricopa County has just completely thumbed their nose at the senators, and they have not turned over anything yet. And in fact, the negotiations are Maricopa County saying to the Senate, well, here's what we'll give you and when. And that's not the way a subpoena is supposed to work.
It's crazy. So we have people like Steve Chukri, we have Hickman, we have these people hiding behind their lawyers and absolutely not complying to the legislative body of the state. They're absolutely not turning anything over and basically saying what you're going to do about it. And if I hear you correctly, Terry Joe, the judge is like, well, it's not my job. Y'all got to figure that out.
Absolutely. The Senate has authority. It's part of the law that if they issue a legislative subpoena, they have the authority to hold somebody in contempt. And what some people are thinking is going to happen here, Maricopa County is not going to get their audit done till March, which means we get a report maybe in April. The Senate's going to be adjourned April 24th. And so a lot of folks are questioning whether anybody really wants to get to the audit and whether this is just part of a big scheme to let things go.
Terry Joe, quickly, what can voters do, whether in Maricopa County or anywhere else in Arizona, if you want to, get down to what's really happening, have things happen with Maricopa County's election? What does we, the people, what options do we have? What do we need to do?
There is a great website out there. It's free. It's azpeopleslobbyist.com. There's an option to click on email a committee. Folks can scroll down to that, click on there. You can directly email the Senate Judiciary Commission and tell them you want them to get going on the Senate audit.